So next up, we have some really cool stuff coming up. Under their Methian drama imprint, Bloomsbury Publishing became a Lit in Colour partner in 2022 as the UK's #1 publisher of plays and drama text. They have been supporting the campaign by actively spotlighting plays by writers of colour. They have donated free copies of play text to all Lit in Colour pioneer schools, which shout out to the free books. We really appreciate that. And this year, they ran a competition for secondary school students to write a 3-minute scene, and we are lucky enough to get 2 of those scenes today. So we've got a bunch of thespians around you, so make sure to get your photos, signatures, and when they become famous, put it on Netflix and eBay. Correct? Yeah, exactly. And today we'll be hearing from 2 of Methian Drama's authors, Lucian Msamati, who is an award-winning actor, writer, director, producer in theatre, film, television, and radio, and Sudha Bhuchar, who is the acclaimed actor and playwright and founder of Bhuchar Boulevard Theatre Company. As 2 of the competition judges, Lucian and Sudha will be introducing 2 of the 3 winners who will be able to join us today to collect their prizes and very excitedly perform their winning scenes for you today. So, over to our beautiful playwrights and actors. Please come through, Lucian and Sudha.
Hello, folks.
Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
No,
I'm sorry, can you hear me? Yeah! Come on! Can you hear me? Yeah! Can you hear me? Yeah! That's better! Someone told me there was playwriting competition, there's poetry, there's all this wonderful stuff.
My name is Lucian. I'm an actor, playwright, etc.
There's only 5 things.
4 or 5 things that I want to say before today.
First of all,
It's such an honor and privilege to have been invited here to listen to all this amazing players. Give yourself yet another round of applause. Second, when I look into your beautiful, youthful, amazing faces, I remember myself 2 years ago when I was watching. And I remember what it was like being you, being that age. And I remember coming from the background I come from, things on the TV, things on stage. I might as well have been saying I want to do something that's on the do. So I would ask people for advice, and I would get all sorts of advice that had nothing to do with what I was listening to. But the greatest lesson I learned from that was, don't ask for permission. Do it. Yeah? Don't ask for permission. Do it. So that's what when you find out what you're made of, and that's what builds you. But when you start doing it, don't take shortcuts. No hacks. No shortcuts. Can you hear me?
Yeah. No.
Can you hear me? Yeah! Shortcuts are for people who want to look cool in front of lazy people.
It's boring.
Nothing happens. You might get there quicker, but you don't know what to do. Take the time. Learn. Get better. Grow. When I tell you that I've been on stages like this for the last 30 years, making tons and tons of mistakes, that's how I learned to be here. That's how I learned to stand. That's how I learned to get there. The last thing I will say to you. Once upon a time, a 17-year-old who sat in a little house in Harare, in Zimbabwe, and he thought, you know what, one day I want to be these great possible beings. One day I want to work with all those amazing actors, players, poets. One day, all these literary, glowing people who see so far away, one day I'd like to be there. And I want to say it's me. I am living that 17-year-old boy's dream. And my greatest wish for you is that you stand up here one day and you share the dream that you dream now with the rest.
I'm a Punjabi. I've also got a loud voice, but shall I try this? Is that you can all hear me now, can't you? Yes, I've been blown away by all the poetry and all of you coming up here and, you know, being your full selves. There is literally no way I could ever have done that. So I wanted to start with, I have an annual reunion with my school friends. And last summer, I remember sitting there with all of them in a pub in Fulham, where I went to school in London. And they sort of said to me, you are literally the last person we would have imagined would become an actor. And, you know, they're absolutely right, because I was a wallflower, completely and utterly. So, you know, people like me, we weren't in the theatre, but, you know, at school, because I came here in 1974 as an 11-year-old. I was born in Tanga, Tanzania, East Africa, and my father was a teacher. Every 3 years we had these crisscross journeys that went from Africa to India, Africa, India, Africa, Norfolk, and then London. When I was landed here, you know, in Norfolk, we were literally the only non-white people in the town, let alone the school. So the kids, you know, my school friends, they would ask me, did we live in mud huts? Did we go around on elephants? And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't malicious. It was just, they had never ever seen anybody. And so, you know, when I came into London to school, I just felt, I was really timid. I didn't know how to navigate myself in this country. And I remember at the age of about 13, I wore my coat. And when I say I wore my coat for 2 years. Like, it was literally, I could not take, you're nodding, but I think people, when I speak this to people, it's true. You know, I remember that girl just wanting to disappear. Unfortunately, it had the opposite effect. It made me hyper visible. It was like, I remember being shamed. You know, there was that wonderful story about the taxi driver's daughter. Well, I was shamed by a teacher who, in front of everybody, it was the summer of 1976, which is one of the hottest summers, and he said something like, well, it's really hot, but obviously Sudha doesn't feel it, you know. So that was me. So how did I become an actor? You know, it's completely crazy. I had a chance encounter with Jatinder Verma, who's the founder of a theatre company called Tara, and they still exist. Tara Theatre is like the beautiful jewel of a theatre in London. And actually, it was literally the chance encounter. And it was seeing people who were like us, telling our stories. So I would literally say theatre, writing, acting actually saved me. It's where I found myself. Because on a very basic level, I realized how we were here in this country. It was through theatre that I realized that because of Britain colonizing the countries that we came from, we came here, our histories are connected, how we are connected. You know, we are here because we're all part of a joined up story. We are all lit in. So actually, the only other thing I wanted to share was that one of my greatest privileges is to have written a play called Child of the Divide. And it's now outside on there as part of the Lit in Colour. You know, it really just makes me feel so warm. Because it is inspired by a short story, and it's about a lost boy during the time of the partition of India. The little boy, the short story is written by Bisham Sahani. The little Hindu boy, he gets separated from his family, and he gets taken in by a Muslim family who bring him up as their son. And then 7 years later, his father finds him, and he doesn't really know who he is, because he's both the Hindu boy who was lost, the Muslim boy he became, but he's a child of the divide. And I wrote that for my sons, because they're mixed heritage. I'm a Hindu, Indian origin, married to a Muslim Pakistani. My kids are all of that and fiercely British. And I realized they would sort of ask, like, who are we? Who am I? And them and their primary school friends didn't know that India and Pakistan was the same country. So I wrote Child of the Divide for them and for children. And I'm so delighted. I originally wrote it in 2006. We're now in 2024, and it's still going. And I'm hoping that now you guys do get to see the history of colonialism within your education, and judging by the work that you're writing and making, you know, there's so much depth to how you're all thinking. So yeah, like Lucian, I would absolutely basically say, you know, be yourselves. Like I studied maths and sociology at university. I've never been to drama school. I never went on stage as a child. I could not have spoken till I was about 18. So here I am, still here 40 years later in theatre and, you know, being an actor. So just be yourself and bring your full selves to everything. And on that note, I would also say magpie and steal. So, you know, overhear conversations, write them down. If it wasn't for my children, I couldn't have written Child of the Divide. I've literally taken what they speak and made it into something. And I'm currently doing a one-woman show called Evening Conversations, which is literally my conversations with my sons. So like they'll say to me, Mum, is there anything you actually write yourself? And probably the answer is no, because I don't have imagination. I have to steal. So go around listening, being, stealing. And now it's actually my great pleasure, our great pleasure, to announce and to award the 2 winners of the scene writing competition. And before I sort of say their names and give them their award, Lucian and I and the other judges who can't be here today, we were really struck by like the range and the material and the themes, and particularly the winning pieces that you'll see today. You know, there's such a sort of depth and maturity, wouldn't you say? The first piece, you'll see, I don't know which order, but, Brianna Asante is one of our winners. Would you like to come and get your award? And and we'll be seeing her scene in a minute. Congratulations. Brianna's piece is called Sonnet 34, Director's Cut, and we'll be treated to it in a minute. But what really struck us was the relationships between the 2 characters, how much subtext and history there was, and how this particular scene is a very pivotal moment in their relationship. And secondly, we also have Lily Danielle Riley. And Lily's piece was also playing with form, with the setting. Well done, Lily. Congratulations. There's a lot sort of, in that one scene and a very moving final line. So here we are. I think we're going to make way now for the scenes. Thank you very much.
Cute set. What? I said cute set. It'd be right at home next to my grandma's deathbed. Is that what you're filming?
No. What are you doing here?
Catching up with you, like you asked?
I asked to meet outside.
An hour and a half ago.
It's only been an hour and 45.
Give or take.
I'm sorry. I was waiting for Ben to get back from lunch and got carried away again.
Julie, friends shouldn't leave you to slave over this. What's this supposed to be again?
A mockumentary set.
You ditched me for a documentary.
Mockumentary? Like The Office?
You didn't even like The Office.
It's Monty's favourite.
Was I talking about the Nepo baby or you?
Please don't call him.
Well, do you?
I couldn't get past episode 2. It's a blackface. I read the wiki and called it a day.
Tell them.
I couldn't. He'd be heartbroken.
Tell them. You won't do their dirty work.
It's not... I'm just taking this opportunity seriously. Like, imagine the doors this competition could open.
Don't tell me I actually enjoy this. What happened to your vision? To remaking Shakespeare's soliloquies?
You never even liked them.
Yeah. That's, it's bad when I'm wondering, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Don't make me remember any more from English than I have to. Just put me out of my misery and make the movie you want to make.
It's a group project. What I want isn't... It's easier if I just...
Give up,
compromise.
like with your skincare.
Excuse me?
Julie, you're looking ash in a smoker's lungs. Did you leave your cream at mine?
Oh, please don't call me that.
Or is this dump literally sucking life out of you, Jules?
I can't believe I missed you.
Did you? Then why did you leave me?
For an hour and a bit.
For a month, Julie. Where did you go?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You disappeared. Queen Mob could have spirited you away in a haze note for all I knew.
Queen Mad.
Not the takeaway here.
Insult me if you want, Rosa, but leave Lerman out of this.
You mean Shakespeare?
Same difference.
I miss this.
Being crammed in tiny chairs or the dumb nicknames?
You, when you're not putting on an act, doesn't match your eyes.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, give me a minute. I need some rest before we head back home.
What?
Look, I'm still recovering from that heart attack you gave me.
No, why would I go back? Didn't you bring my camera? Just asking.
Unbelievable.
Don't start.
Why am
We
I
need it
surprised?
to film.
Of course,
I
that's
promise
what you care
you,
about.
I'm
Why am I
not
surprised?
scene right now.
Film it on your phone for all I care.
That's not fair. You know how hard I
Oh,
worked for.
so now you care about integrity.
Rosa, please.
Get your classmates to buy one themselves.
I thought I was clear.
Don't act like they can't afford it. It's not like Daddy's credit card will decline.
Don't talk about my friends like that when you barely know.
Friends is a strong word.
You don't get to decide that.
Then what can I do? Set up your camera and leave you here to rot? Leave Ben to his 5-hour lunch breaks? Let Tio smudge the lens of your camera? Let Monty mangle the lines that you wrote? Because I'll win that competition with your film. And I'll leave you out of the credits because your surname's too hard to pronounce. And you'll thank them for it. For the great opportunity. Cleaning out their clubs doesn't count as networking. And you think you're one of them. You're better. But you're settling for a pipe dream.
Pipe dream.
Julie.
That's not my damn name. Pipe dream. I knew you always thought this was something I'd grow out of. Were you waiting for the phase to pass before I crawled back to where I belong? Smothered in that tiny apartment. What's so wrong with wanting more? With being willing to work for it? I mean, compromise on a couple things.
How much are you willing to give up?
Compromise.
How much, Juliet?
Just give me the camera.
Us?
There's nothing between us. Please. Thank you.
My name is Reagan. I'm 17 years old, gay, decked with graves, and have an okay relationship with my family.
Here are some of the places, according to these defining characteristics and the societal norms at the time of writing, where I should belong.
Politics?
Yes, politics.
When I was your age, yes, when I was your age. Something vaguely homophobic that if you were to call it out, you'd be told, stop overreacting.
I have an underlying fear of political correctness.
If you don't achieve what grade I think you're going to, I'm going to judge you mercilessly.
I'm going to wait for someone to put their hand up. Fine then. Very good.
Just need to work on your overwhelming craving for academic validation. Love you. We can tell you don't feel totally secure in yourself, and it's kind of ruining the vibe.
Are you femme or mask?
Top or bottom?
No, houseplants aren't gay.
We all just crave community.
Femme for femme.
Every human being is desperate for community, to belong. And yet this can only truly make us happy when we belong to ourselves first.
Not in a sense. When this journey ends, in this relatively short journey, but transformative, we will ask you again, where do you belong?
I don't know. Where do you feel pure, at peace with yourself? Pure?
Not in the sense that you've been cleansed of all your sins, but in a sense that your sins are not your sins at all.
I don't know. Under the stars. Try again.
With the stars above my head.